Hello! Tonight, we hairy game lords have been playing this. D-Day Dice Pacific by Wordforge Games. What did we think? Find out. D-Day Dice Pacific, say that with your teeth in.
Yeah. So this game is, we got to play the demo set. In fact, two demo sets. Because each demo set has enough for 2 players. We played 4 players.
Oh, yes.
It's a cooperative game. And
Well, as cooperative as the hairy game lords get, anyway.
Yeah. And you need everybody. Everybody has to cross that bunker line, don't they? Everyone needs to be there.
Otherwise, you all lose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if one person, for instance, gets bunkers down in a cave,
Just for instance.
for
yes.
instance,
Yeah.
for most of the fighting,
Yeah.
if they die or if they don't cross the line, the rest of the hard workers
Also fail.
fail.
Yes. Why are you looking at me? It wasn't me,
It wasn't
anyway.
you, it wasn't you, you're right.
I just felt some,
No.
aggression there.
Wasn't you? And we can say as much as we like because it's not here.
It's
It's
not,
to
no.
defend himself.
So, there are 4 different maps, I think, in the demo set.
Yeah.
Obviously, the full version has many different mats. So, this is the nice, easy starter map. The other side has got mosquitoes and rivers, and we'll come to the rivers later. There's some slight tactical errors were made with crossing the river, I believe.
Apologies, everybody.
But yes, it's
Pontoon!
So you're in the Pacific, assaulting one of the Pacific islands. So you start on the beach, where it's not all parasols and margaritas.
Yeah.
You start on the beach, and you have different routes that you can take. So depending on how many players there are, 2 sides of the beach here, and then you can make your way up one side, up the middle, up the other side, and there's all sorts of different obstacles, shall we say.
Yeah.
So we've got mines, we've got machine gun nests, all the things that you would expect from a nice Pacific atoll. And you have to make your way from the beach up to the top where there is a slightly randomly determined bunker waiting for you with all the fun things that
Are hidden
within
bunkers.
and bunkers tend to contain. So you need to make your way up, but you also need to try and keep sort of enough resources and things that go boom, like grenades and what have you, for that final bunker assault, because that is what it hinges on.
Yes.
And if you've all used up all of your shiny things that go boom, and then you flip the bunker and it's got all sorts of things that you can't beat, disappointment awaits you all.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And obviously, if there's 3 of you assaulting a bunker, sort of one after the other, so much the better. Obviously, 4 would have been better if somebody wasn't in a cave system somewhere else on the map. Here is a cave.
Here is a cave. And here is sometimes what caves may look like with inside. So you enter and then you have to leave. There are different ways, different locations that you can leave through, and there are different things that you need to get or have with you, different crew members or different awards that you might need to have got to be able to exit the cave. And actually, it is dependent on which cave you enter, especially on that first map we played. Pete and I are on one side of the beach.
Yeah.
And James and Dave on the other side of the beach.
So, Ange and I on this side, James and Dave on this side. You'll notice the cave here goes from... So that this cave that they could enter would come out here. The cave that we could enter would come out here. Arguably, there's a relative no-brainer about that. You're going to go in and come out higher up, aren't you? A lot further up. And although that cave system might cost you some time, some resources, it's a good chance of getting out there. So that's obviously what we would have done, with only a single step to kind of increase, you know, you'd probably think twice about going into that cave, wouldn't you, Dave? And James.
I did, in fact.
Yeah, you did.
You did twice about going into that cave.
Yeah, James was all gun ho. In fact, he was the first one to enter the cave system. He was like, "Brilliant, let's go into the cave.
It could be great.
Yeah, it'd be amazing." I think I had picked up some machinery, and so I was driving around. I wasn't too fussed about going into a cave because I had to give up the vehicle that I was driving. But entered anyway with Pete, and actually it turned out really great for us. Boosted us really far
and quick up to the top. And the thing with the caves, poor James, probably, you know, he arguably just wanted to find out what going into a cave was like. And the thing with caves are you don't know what you're going to get until you get in there because they are randomised. And unfortunately, what was a relatively small step in cave terms became quite a challenge for James to get through, whereas the cave that Ange and I, which allowed us to jump a real high way up that map, was a relative doddle. And the other thing we had done was we had ensured that we'd got because you need a battle cry to leave most caves, which is a specific kind of set of dice really, or it's a card that you can get. And we had got, I think, one complete battle cry saved. I'd got another. I could lose somebody to gain a battle cry. We'd got a heap of cards to be able to do that. So we knew that realistically we'd got a pretty quick route out if we really needed to. And actually our cave was a really simple system. So we were able to get through.
And it was like we literally walked in one door, out the
pretty
other
much
door.
straight out. James was nearly crying because he was battling each stage of the way. And that the way the game works, there are a whole heap of restrictions that certain spots put on you. So it might be that you have to hold on to more dice. So this, you know, it's a dice game. It basically uses the Yahtzee mechanic. So you roll, but you have to, in your first roll, keep 2 of your dice, and you cannot re-roll those dice. You can then re-roll the rest of the dice up to 2 more times to try and get combinations of dice that are going to give you more soldiers, or maybe more special item points that you're enabled then to. So down the left hand side there, it tells you what all the different options are with specific. If you roll 3 of a kind across the 3 different types of coloured dice, so you've got red dice, blue, white, and white dice. And if you roll three stars, for example, a red star, a blue star, and a white star, you're going to get leadership. But you can also get a battle cry. So there are a number of different things you can get. And this game is one of those where, in essence, you're using the dice to balance your resources. And that balance of resources is really important. You have to have enough soldiers because you are going to lose soldiers. So that, in essence, you need to keep feeding the bullets.
Meat grinder.
Meat grinder.
To ensure that you're going to be able to get to the top. But you aren't going to be able to get there on men alone. You're going to need to get leadership points that allow you to access improved soldiers within, specialists within your team, all of whom come with special powers. There are really good items that you can pick up. Some of those will give you really powerful single-use things. Some will be vehicles that you can use until you either choose not to or they get blown up.
Some allow you to rain down like a carpet bomb kind of effect.
Airstrikes
are
particularly
so
fine.
Cool, so very cool, especially on that bunker at the end.
You've got grenades, anti-mine items, all sorts of
things that can prevent you. Those we said that there are machine gun posts on a number of the spots. There are cards that will allow you to reduce the damage of those or minimise them to a set number, so you can choose, right, I'll take that damage, or I've got this card that I can discard and it'll mean I only take 1 or 2 damage. So if you've rolled a 6 and you're knackered and you're going to lose 6, then you've got those kind of cards that you can potentially play. Obviously, you won't be able to play them later on, so it's a balancing act working out. And one of the things that was really, really good, those red, white, and blue bonuses, some of those particularly allowed one player to offer support to another player, so they were slightly different. Which allowed us then, again, with that cooperative element, you can consider, right, I can do, if I take this, it's not brilliant for me, but it means an extra 6 soldiers for you, which could be the thing that makes a difference between you all getting across the line.
Yeah.
And if one of you fails, you all fail. So
That's right, yeah.
And all of the different, there's 2 different colours.
That's two,
so we have grey and pink, and they are slightly different. So again, if you've got 2 people playing, you're on sort of not different teams as such, because it is cooperative, but
you're able to help in
you
different
can
ways.
help out, and it is that thing of, actually, if I keep these dice, then I can do something good for, especially playing 4 people. Some of those cooperative powers were really good, because it's like, I can have 5 soldiers for me, or everybody can have 3 each, which is awesome if you're playing in that nice communal cooperative
which we were.
I think we did.
The other thing that I thought that was we played in the second game, I think we brought these in. There are sort of specialist divisions, and they bring in a couple of additional specialists, so individual soldiers that have got very special powers that you can use that are different from the standard set, and they also have a replacement red, white, and blue bonus section, which gives another different set of bonuses. So for those people who are concerned about replayability, you've got the difference between the 2 maps, but then you have your special units, which again create differences. Each map will create a different puzzle, and then you've got the randomisation of not knowing which bunker there is. So you could go up one route, think you've got to the bunker, and actually it's not the bunker. It's just quite a difficult thing to beat, and you've then got to move across and or down, and you've got to find a way. You can't move back. You've got to find a way of getting across.
Lots of different
lots of different caves.
Caps, caves, and the demo had loads of gameplay in it, but the actual box that won't be the demo, the actual one that you'll be getting backing, will I think have 12. Is it 12 maps?
Something like that. Check the Kickstarter page, or the
crowdfunding.
Check the crowdfunding page to see the definitive number, and I'm sure stretch goals and things may
change that anyway. But there is a lot of replayability. Even on one map, I can see straight away there's 4 different paths to the top. One beach, 3, 2. So there's all sorts of different combinations of ways, which also lets you plan with what you've got. Actually, I don't want to go up that side because I'm not very good at mines, but with my items and what have you, actually, I'm probably going to be quite good at taking machine gun fire. So I'll go up the machine gun side rather than the side with loads of mines. Make sure you keep your pontoon raft for when you get to the river.
Because
that's a tip for you.
So talking of, I guess moving on to talk about the 2 different maps we played. So we played the basic map, and we've talked a little bit about the caves. We did well. So the 3 of us got to the top, defeated the bunker, and basically we needed James to get to the top, just get limp across the line. And James got stuck in the cave, and which was quite concerning. Lost an awful lot of people in the cave, so came out of the cave with very few, and still had, as you remember, this cave finished quite low down, so we still had some work to do to get to the top and join us in the bunker. We'd kind of taken out all the enemy troops. He just needed to get there. And I think from memory, it was one soldier left.
It was
literally one
close.
soldier left. But they're the kind of war stories you want to be telling.
Absolutely.
So I mean, in terms of enjoyment, it was an absolute blast.
It was so much fun. I mean, you felt like you were there. Like it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of laughs, especially at James's expense.
Yeah. The cave troll.
Yeah. it was great. And actually, there's the 3 of us with this huge arsenal of like all these amazing troops. We've got the specialists, we've got tanks, we've got we've got all the airstrike stuff, and there's James
with a pea shooter and a muscle vest.
So a lot of fun, and I thoroughly enjoyed the game. That game was just amazing. So much stuff, and again, there's the immersiveness of the game. It feels great.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a bit of a look factor because it's dice, but actually for me, that didn't take away from the fun at all.
No.
It was just brilliant.
And there's plenty of mitigation with that. I mean, it's the artsy dice basically
Yeah.
to start with, so you can do a bit of, I need to keep 2, but re-roll. There's also, the skulls are obviously really bad, but if you roll 3 skulls, it actually becomes really awesome. Which, if you want to play that high risk maneuver, that's there for you.
You're going to want that in your first roll.
But there is also a couple of the skills do let you later on swap dice with each other. So it is actually, I see you've rolled a white skull there. I've got a red and a blue one. I'll take that off you, and all of a sudden, from being really bad, it's now really awesome.
Yeah,
for me. Plenty of mitigation, even just on the dice rolling, and then with the other stuff that's going on with the items and what have you, you never feel badly done to. There's always that. I need troops I could really do with this roll, which is why you play dice games. At the end of the day, is that please roll, and that's what we're here for. But you never really feel like the dice are just constantly kicking you.
But to be fair, not the dice, but sometimes I would say the maps can feel like they're kicking you. So I think that first one was probably like the training wheels one. It felt like we'd done brilliantly well. We kind of were all high-fiving and firing our guns into
Don't
the
get
air.
cocky, kid. I think is.
And then we flipped to the other side and suddenly realised actually you probably need to do a little bit more planning and tactical strategy, even in this kind of rolly dice game, because
there's quite a lot of things,
and that creates, I think, where this game for people, the first game was brilliant and you could have probably played it. It was quite, it's light, but this level of strategy certainly upped it noticeably. And I'll be honest, I'm sure there are much tougher maps as well. We haven't seen the whole pack of maps, but this created a significant number of problems. First being, pontoon, that's a good plan to get across a river. But on the pontoon, you can only take, I think it was like 5 or 6 troops over at a time.
Straight into the machine gun
nest. And then needing to have something like, within a couple of turns, probably somewhere in the region of 20 to 30 troops. So, which is basically pretty much, well, there's a couple of things that could have got you if you'd got some really lucky dice rolls, but that's very, very unlikely to happen. We probably should have planned a little bit more. We got absolutely annihilated in that one, although we did get to the bunker.
But we had
nothing to
3 guys and a puppy.
We shouted at them a lot, but our shouting didn't really make much of a difference. So this game, I think, would suit a wide range of players. If you like strategy but don't mind a bit of luck, I think this is really good. If you like that kind of solving of a puzzle, because I think at the heart of it, this is what this is. You've got a set of resources that are available to you, picking the right resources for the map, picking the right route against those resources, but then understanding you'll still need a little bit of luck from those dice. But because it doesn't take 3 hours to play, I think games with a bit of luck in that are over in 25 to 40 minutes, that kind of time frame, depending on how much you think about it, you can cope with that.
I think because it's short, you can play it. Even if you get obliterated, you'll learn from the map and be quite happy to go. Right, again, that was half an hour. We got a caning. Right, let's go again, but let's not do that. Let's make sure that we've got a bridge rather than a rubber dinghy to get our entire army across. That kind of thing.
Maybe stay out of the cave.
Stay out the cave,
James.
I think there is plenty to learn from it, just from a puzzle solving mechanic, and solo as well. I think you quite happily go at this solo. Obviously, we played 4. I think we had a game with 2. There's quite a wide, any player count really, I think would work quite happily, and I'd be quite happy just rolling dice myself on a Saturday afternoon because no friends.
That's the way it rolls.
Yeah.
So we really liked it.
Yeah.
Absolutely, so much
Absolutely
fun.
lovely.
Really,
Absolutely.
really good.
Check it out. Get involved.
Anyway, check it out on a crowdfunding platform near you.
Brilliant.